Marina Abramovic's 1974 performance is considered one of the most controversial, powerful, and unforgettable works in the history of performance art. Her most famous experiment was Rhythm Zero, presented in 1974 in Naples, Italy. It was not merely an art exhibition but a profound social experiment about human psychology, power, violence, morality, and freedom. This performance forced the world to question how far human beings might go if they were given complete freedom over another person. Marina Abramovic is a renowned Serbian performance artist. Performance art is a form of art in which the artist uses their own physical presence, movements, emotions, and time as the medium of expression. In this type of art, the final object or painting is not the main focus. Instead, the process and experience themselves become the artwork. Marina often explored themes such as the human body, pain, endurance, fear, and mental strength in her work. Rhythm Zero is considered one of her earliest yet most shocking creations. In this performance, Marina decided to stand silently in a room for 6 hours without moving. She announced that during this time she would remain completely passive, and the audience could do anything they wanted to her. On a table nearby, she placed 72 objects, including flowers, perfume, feathers, honey, scissors, chains, knives, razor blades, a whip, and even a loaded gun. A written instruction beside the table stated, "I am an object. During this period, I take full responsibility. You can do whatever you want with me." At first, the audience behaved cautiously. Some people handed her flowers, held her hands, or approached her gently. However, as time passed, the atmosphere changed. Some visitors began cutting her clothes. Others used razor blades to injure her skin. A few people pushed her around, while some attempted to humiliate her. The most terrifying moment occurred when a man placed the loaded gun in her hand and pointed it toward her neck. At that point, the environment had become extremely frightening and dangerous. This entire event became a disturbing reflection of human psychology. Once people realized that Marina would not resist and that they had complete freedom, many crossed moral boundaries. The performance raised serious questions. Are humans naturally violent? Or do power and circumstances turn them into that? Marina later explained that the performance showed her that when a person is treated as an object, others may behave toward them in deeply inhumane ways. After the 6 hours ended, Marina finally began moving and walked toward the audience. Surprisingly, most people avoided her and quickly left the room. They could not look into her eyes. Perhaps they felt ashamed of their actions, or maybe they suddenly realized that the object they had been mistreating was actually a living human being. This moment is considered one of the most significant aspects of the performance. It demonstrated that empathy often disappears when a person's humanity is stripped away. Rhythm Zero is now regarded as a revolutionary work in the history of modern art. It challenged traditional definitions of art. Usually, art is associated with beauty, creativity, or emotional expression, but Marina demonstrated that art can also serve as a social experiment, a study of human behavior, and a psychological investigation. Her aim was not simply to entertain the audience but to confront them with uncomfortable truths about themselves. The performance received mixed reactions around the world. Some critics described it as an unnecessary and dangerous act of self-harm, while others considered it one of the most important artistic experiments ever conducted. Psychologists and scholars of social sciences also analyzed the event in terms of power, crowd behavior, and moral responsibility. The experiment has often been compared to psychological studies that examine how human behavior changes when people are given authority or control. Marina Abramovic's performance deeply influenced later generations of artists. She proved that art is not only something to be viewed but also something to be felt, questioned, and experienced. Rhythm Zero continues to be discussed in art schools, universities, and cultural debates because it exposes the darker aspects of human nature. In conclusion, this 1974 performance was not simply an artistic display, it was a test of humanity's conscience. Through her body and silence, Marina Abramovic held up a mirror to society in which people saw their true selves. That is why Rhythm Zero remains one of the most powerful, disturbing, and unforgettable performances in the history of modern art.